So I'll introduce myself for a start. I'm Rhys McKee, 23, just turned 23, and I'm a professional mixed martial artist as well as a personal trainer. I started MMA when I was 16. I was kind of looking for something to do. I played a lot of football, and basically I was looking for a path, somewhere to go, and MMA was kind of what chose me. I didn't really choose MMA, so I went into MMA for pre-season, which is about fitness, and basically got hooked and loved it and fell in love with the sport and everything to do with it. So I'm now 23, it's been 7 years later, and I've accomplished quite a bit for like my age, which is good. So I formally won the world title last year and won the British title as well. So, but unfortunately I went on to lose them titles as we know. But it's all good really. So yeah, it's a sport that requires a lot of dedication, and you know you do have to really obsess your life with it. And my whole life is obsessing and engulfed with MMA and training people or training myself and stuff like that. But it's good. Like really well. So I started at 16. When I was 17, I had my first fight. It was a grappling competition, so you weren't actually allowed to punch anyone in the face, so it was a bit easier to watch. I then moved on. I won a few fights, and I was able to then punch people in the face, which was a bit funner. So then I was 18. I was starting to get to the top of the amateur game. I was starting to be tested and get a bit known, like in the local area and in the country, I suppose. I went to Scotland, I went to England, and I won fights there. From there, the next step of amateur is professional. So now we're getting money for it. Now it's starting to become a job. At this time, I'm still working full time in like kind of jobs that had no real progression. So it was a grind. It was tough. But again, I never really went away from the dream, and the bigger picture was always to do MMA full time. So then I made the jump. when I left my job. I went full time martial arts, and I dedicated my life, and that's when I became professional. My first professional fight, it was after my 19th birthday. I fought a man who was 31, and he had over 10 professional fights. And with that came a lot of pressure for me and my coach and my family. They all thought I was up against it. I would get slaughtered by this man in Dublin. So it turned out that night I won. So that again, it made the hype train go a wee bit bigger. Fast forward a year later, I'm 5-0. I'm undefeated. So we come to Belfast. Massive fight in Belfast. I need to go back actually. So I was 5-0. I was in Belfast. Massive fight in the Odyssey. You all know the Odyssey. Yeah, the SSE arena. So that was like always my dream as a childhood boy to compete here in this arena. So I had a great fight, I had an amazing training and all this good stuff, and I fell ill. I fell ill the day before the fight. I got very sick. So I had a choice. Do I pull out of the fight or do I still fight? What would you have done if you were sick? If you were sick and had to fight someone in the Odyssey in front of about 6,000 people, what would you do?
How sick were you?
Sick. I couldn't eat anything, couldn't drink anything.
Yeah, was it like nervous sick or just like?
No, just sick, like physically broken sick.
Did you continue?
I continued to fight, so I gambled. I took a gamble and I fought, and basically, the long story short, I lost the fight and I broke my orbital bone in my face. So this whole bone, basically, my face was shattered. So I had to get that sorted out and stuff. So that was a hard night in my career.
So this is where you lost the title?
This was where I lost one on the title, yeah. So I had 2 titles.
So if you hadn't been sick, you would have won.
There you go. Now we're becoming friends. Yeah. So maybe if I wasn't sick, I would have won. But I had a gamble. On that night.
What if you hadn't actually done the fight? What would have happened?
We would have been pulled. There would have been no fight. So my thought at the time was I couldn't let everybody down. I sold over 250 tickets. I didn't want to let anybody down, so I continued to fight, and it turned out to be a bad thing in the night. But I learned so much from that, and like through life, like sometimes it takes the worst decisions you make to be the best decisions you make. You know, like without that decision, like who knows, I would have made the stupid mistake down the line. You know, so then long story short, after that I needed to find. So within the MMA sport, I loved the sport so much, but then it gave me one of the darkest days of my life. Like I lost the big title, you know what I wanted. So I had to find a bit of peace. I went away for a while. I went to Canada. I came back. I got a big fight again. I won the fight. It was good, all good fun. And then I came back and I was hit with a bit of grief that our family will know about. My dad died. My dad, very sudden death. You know, so it it was nothing that we knew about. It was nothing like anything that, you know, we had weeks to prepare. It was very much overnight. I lost the biggest part of my life who I lived with, my best friend. And the crazy thing about this is I had the biggest fight of my life 8 weeks after that. So I had a choice again. I had a choice, do I fight or do I not fight? And I chose to fight again. I gambled again. This time was a little bit different though. I had an inner power. My dad, I believe, watching down on me. He powered me that night, and I went out and I won the title. So this time I won the world title. Okay, so now I go from having the darkest night of my life, losing the title, to having the best night of my life, winning it. I dedicated the title to my dad, all that good stuff, and it was a massive night. Like, it was in, you know, Wembley in London. It was there. So it was a big arena in front of, I think, 10,000 people. It was live on ITV4, so the stakes were very high. So I win that title, massive night. So then I go away again. So once you lose a fight in MMA, nobody really cares. You're pushed to the back of the queue. Once you won, you're right up there. Everybody cares. Everybody's your friend. So I know that pattern by now. So then the next fight I get now is a rematch with, remember the guy that beat me in Belfast? So I went after him. So now I said, right, let's fight again. I'm not sick no more. And we have another fight. So this was my 2 fights ago. So we fight in London. I got the title. No, I hadn't got the title this time. This was the story's a bit muddled up here. So I fought the guy that beat me before. He broke my eye socket. He'd done all the bad stuff to me. I rematched him in London again, and I got my revenge. I beat him in that night. So you can see how it's all coming full circle. And that was a good night too. That was again another good night. Then fast forward to June. June just passed. I fight a tough Englishman. He was 31. I was 22. And he takes the title off me again. So now I've lost my world title again, but you know, I lived to fight another day. I wasn't injured. I didn't have any real breaks, and but it's amazing. Like, you know, like in MMA, you have your up days, you have your down days, you have your good days, you have your bad days. You have all this mixed emotion, and the only thing you can do is keep trucking and keep showing up and keep being persistent with your dream. Like I'm nothing different to anybody in the world. I'm just very persistent, and I won't give up, and I just keep going, and I'm obsessed with stuff. And you know, it doesn't really, like, there's no like higher power in me compared to anybody here or anybody in the world. Like, you just have to be resilient and keep trucking and find what you want. You know, the first thing you think about in the morning and the last thing you think about at night is your passion. That's my belief. Like, when I wake up, I'm thinking MMA. When I go to sleep, I'm thinking MMA. Like, and that's a fact. Like, I'm not saying that in a way to like just sound cliche or sound, you know, good, but it's the last and first thing I think about. So it's an amazing journey. So find your hobby and stick at it and just persist, and don't let anybody tell you can't do it, because it's now my job. I now run a gym, a successful gym, and it's good. I'm my own boss now, so I have nobody to call into and tell I'm sick or I'll be late for work, so I just have to call myself. So that's my story in about 10 minutes, I suppose.